Folks, Matt, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sports Scholars. We got a Tuesday special for you guys.
Woo! You don't sleep. You don't sleep, baby. Sports on the mind 24/7. Let's go.
Sports 24/7.
That's what we do. That's what we do here at Sports Scholars, ladies and gentlemen.
Not usually a day that we do a podcast, guys, but we're going to do one for you guys today. Obviously streaming here on Twitch. We might upload it to YouTube later. We just want to thank everyone for their questions to us. Make sure to drop a follow, subscribe, and on Twitter, let us know what platform you guys actually use the most. Would be helpful as well.
Yep.
But
We're just trying to gather all the information we can on what's more accessible for people, and we want to try and help everybody out. So any feedback helps us out a lot, guys. Really appreciate it.
Yeah. I do want to point out that Matt, good Lord, he hit a massive ticket.
What a game last night. What a game.
What a game last night. That was for the sports bettor's dream out there, I think. I think every drive we were watching, we were just like, hit.
Right from the first drive,
right
half the things hit.
Half the things were hitting.
Yeah. We were on the phone late, just like yelling and screaming. We're so excited. It was huge. Anyways, guys, I hit a big ticket last night. $4,100 profit on a $100 bet. Safi won a ticket as well. He hit 200 on a 20.
200 on 20,
which
nice
is
and easy.
Excellent. But we both racked last night and
4,300 combined.
Yeah.
Profit. So we are feeling good today.
Yeah, buddy. Our short legacy is growing. In the betting market.
We are. So the legend begins.
So I like to
Sports Scholars.
I like to point out that Saf did the analytics for our last props week.
Yeah.
And Saf, what are some conclusions you came to, my friend?
You were at around 52.7% hit on about 33 props. You know, we see a lot of other prop specialists out there, and they're hitting around 50% or over 50% is good, but they're only doing it on 2-3 props. Matt did around 33 props, and he hit over 52.7, which is really impressive.
So not great.
I was around 51 point something around there, and that was for a much larger 66 props, I think.
Wow.
So I actually went completely cold for this first start of the day. Sometimes you get a bad run like that.
Yeah, especially on Sundays, early games.
Rather bust the ticket in its entirety than miss it by one prop. And then near the end of the day, I was on fire. I went something like 33 for 5. Yeah. So if you guys were definitely tuning into what we thought in the later games and mixing some of our picks, you probably won some money and did really well there.
Absolutely.
So today, guys, we're just going to jump right into it. We're going to kick in the NBA and the NHL seasons.
It's hockey and basketball season. Drafts are starting, guys. It's exciting time.
Yeah.
Let's go. And we're going to be talking all sports like we said from the very beginning. Sports Scholars, we're not just set on one sport. We're going to be doing multiple sports, so give everybody a wide range of variety in their lives. Little props for every single sport, a little fantasy for every single sport. That's what we do. That's what we do here at Sports Scholars.
Place to come and chill for people, right? Place they can come, you can chill, you can talk about any sort of sports that you want. We'll give you kind of your props advice and your bets on them, and whether it be for fantasy as well. I do want to point out that Matt and I are really rusty when it comes to basketball. We do hit on a couple props for basketball, which is why we want to ring it in. But for the ultimate, draft guide on NBA, you're probably not going to find that here in the first year.
Yeah.
You're probably best in the second year or halfway through the season, once we start noticing some trends a little bit more.
That's good advice.
Because we didn't play a basketball competitive money league last year. For fantasy, I did one, Nat did not, and mine was for a relatively small payout. So I do want to touch base on that. Hockey, we are definitely well-versed in, and we've been doing hockey for a long time. We're going to be really busy here this month of October. You're just going to see sprinkles of basketball and hockey mixed in. You're not going to see too much focus because we go pretty heavy in the football scene until the football season ends.
Yeah. That's a great
take.
Good? Yep, that's great advice, man. Great take.
Okay, so let's just jump right into it. Matt, I am going to start with hockey just so we both end up talking here.
Yeah, well, hockey starts first, right? It starts at the end of this week, I believe, on the 7th.
Yeah.
So it's coming up, guys. So your drafts are happening this week or last week, whatever, because it's the 4th now. So the 7th is Friday.
Yeah. Give me 3 or 4 players that you love.
At their ADP?
Their ADP.
So I'm a fan of Chris Kreider. My brother, Morgan, he absolutely loves Chris Kreider. He has him on his team every single year, and he always dominates.
I think I was the Chris Kreider lover.
I think you were, yeah. And there's the argument that he's getting too old, blah, blah, blah. The guy is still entrenched on the top line, a lethal top line. He plays on the top power play, one of the best power plays in the league, with Adam Fox back there. You got Panarin, you got Zibanejad. I think Kreider, his shooting percentage last year was a little high. Like his luck in that department might come down, but the guy's still going to be consistent for 30 goals this season, and you can't really expect less from at that ADP, man. You can't be that disappointed. I think he's still going to put up 30 goals.
Yeah, he's going 2 picks ahead of Jack Eichel right now, which Eichel's returning from injury.
I think Eichel's a good bounce back candidate, but if I were to choose between the two safely at their ADP, I'd be leaning more towards Kreider, especially with the position eligibility too, right?
Yeah. That's a great pick. I'm going to go with my number one's going to be Kevin Fiala. This is a guy who was really hot at the end of the last year, probably the hottest goal scorer, point getter in the NHL. He's an incredible talent. He's a proven goal scorer. And this is a guy that's going to the Los Angeles Kings. Yeah. So he's going to be playing with some really talented playmakers there. You're talking about a team that's going to have his back in terms of ground, like just rough and tough hockey. They're going to be putting people on the ground on the ice, really. And that's that kind of West Coast style hockey that you're so used to seeing. Mm-hmm. So he stays in the West Coast style hockey. I think Fiala's due for a big year. He's going, guys, after Josh Norris. This is the 8th round. You're looking to snag a Kevin Fiala, which to me is ludicrous. Mm-hmm. Matt, what's another one for you?
Safi's going to love this one as a Sens fan. I like Tim Stützle this year as a breakout player at his ADP.
Nice.
He contributes in mostly all categories. He was starting to show signs last year of a breakout, and I think this is the year that he breaks out.
I love that.
Playing with Giroux and stuff, and where he's being taken, he's hovering around where, you got mostly all the elite second mid-tier defensemen. You got your Krugs, your Nurses, your Brett Burns, but he's going below, Teuvo Teravainen, Matt Duchene, I don't know. I think he has more upside than those other guys, and they're taken above him. So I like Stützle where he's getting taken.
Yeah, that's a great pick, guys. Now it's interesting that you're talking about a breakout rookie because I have a breakout
anymore.
Well, to me, it feels like a rookie as a Sens fan because it feels like our last couple of seasons are not seasons.
Yeah,
but I really like Cole Caulfield to break out this year, guys. Yeah. I think Montreal might not do the best this year, but I think he's going to be a bright spot in a dark place for the Canadiens fans. And he's being taken in the 10th round, and that's right near players like Jacob Vrana is someone who is actually being picked. Right after him, Robert Thomas, Evan Bouchard. That's 10th round, guys. Cole Caulfield, I think he might sneak into 6th, 5th round category stat-wise. We're talking standard rotisserie hockey, or we're talking head-to-head points here. We're not talking none of that nonsense where you're playing categories.
I believe in the Caulfield breakout. I believed in it last year, and he screwed me for the first half of the year. He had the worst statistics of his career.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I drop him, he goes off in the second half. So, like, I don't know. I think he's due.
He was just waiting, man. You
Yeah.
shouldn't Matt, get me off your team,
That's
man.
right.
You're a Leafs fan.
That's right.
I won't play for you.
That's right.
What's one that you got?
So for my third one, actually I have two. I'm gonna pair two. I'm gonna pair two guys together that are on the same team that I think have the potential to have big years because they're in contract years. Tyler Bertuzzi and Dylan Larkin.
Wow.
These guys are both in contract years. They're both on. They're on a great team. I mean, Yzerman has really built this team in the offseason. Like, they're going to be competitive. I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs, but they're going to be good. And they're going to go. They're only going to go as far as Larkin, Bertuzzi, and Seider carry them, right?
Yeah.
So I think those guys are due for a big year. I like them at their ADPs. My last pick, I like to add a goalie. I like Pavel Francouz for Colorado. Georgiev, who just got traded to them from the Rangers, is supposed. They're expecting him to be the 1A on that team, so he's getting taken way higher than Francouz, like 3 or 4 rounds. And I'm like, you're going to be drafting a guy that's probably going to be splitting 50-50. He like determining the talent level between Francouz and Georgiev. Why don't you just wait a couple rounds, get some better players, and then draft Francouz, who's probably going to be. He's going to at least get
1A, 1B
on a stacked Colorado team.
I agree, man. I think, and he was only injury is the only thing that kind of held him back from really taking the 1A, 1B
from Kemper. Yeah, absolutely.
That's a great pick. I like that one. Here's kind of my third, and I do kind of want to piggyback on the fourth one as well, so we'll both do 4.
Yeah.
I really like Tyler Toffoli and where he's going, guys. Jonathan Huberdeau. The big winners in the flesh. What's going on, handsome fatty? Tyler Toffoli, where he's going, guys. He is going 14th round right now for ADPs. You're looking at him around where you're finding Pierre-Luc Dubois, Lucas Raymond, Erik Karlsson, who's kind of washed up. I have one of his jerseys. Tyler Toffoli's now going to be playing with Huberdeau. He's probably going to get some first-line power play unit on a pretty decent Calgary Flames team that I don't think they're going to tank just yet. I don't see any reasons why. So they're probably going to be playoff bound again. And I think Tyler Toffoli is going to be a good contributor in the points category and just the all-around categories as well.
That's a good pick.
14th round, Tyler Toffoli. And then let's hear your last one for players you like.
I named 4.
Okay, and my last one, and everyone's buzzing around this guy, Kuzmenko. Everyone's looking for the next Kaprizov
on Vancouver.
Yeah, and I think he's fitting right into the hype stream.
Yeah.
Why not buy it on the hype if you get him for a decent price? I'm not saying go and pull a Bobby Witt Jr. go in the 3rd round, but I think you definitely try to aim to get him if you can get him for a good price. Price is everything, though, when it comes to these rookies. Matt paid some heavy pricing for Caulfield last year. I think you got him in the 4th round. You reached for him in the 4th or 5th, and that ended up kind of ruining your season.
Yeah.
So you don't want to ruin your season off of a really bad pick that's going to fall flat. But if you can get someone at a the later round, then sure. Some players that I dislike.
Sorry, I have 2 fantasy questions for you that I would like answered.
Yeah.
Who would you rather game? Boldy or Rossi on the same team on Minnesota? In fantasy, who would you draft over?
I think I'm going with Boldy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And what about...
I'm not too familiar with Rossi as much.
What about Benier? All this hype on Benier's on the Kraken or Wright?
I'm going to go with the Kingston boy, Shane Wright. I think he's got I'm from the area, so I have to go with the Kingston boy, Shane Wright.
Interesting.
That's just me, though. Yep. Just a personal preference.
Right.
What about you?
Yeah, Benier, there's a lot of hype on this kid, and he looks really good in preseason. I might take a flyer on him. Boldy and Rossi, I'm gonna try and get either one or both.
Yeah. That's not a bad idea, especially since Fiala's gone. It's gonna leave some space in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some players that I dislike. I dislike Malkin this year, guys. The guy's just he's been on and off the ice for injuries. he doesn't have anything left to prove in his career. And for me, I think that, they may start playing a little bit of load management with him. Maybe if he gets a little tweaked in injuries, he's going to be playing less games. Malkin's a fantastic contributor when he's on the ice. I'm just kind of hedging against him being that type of guy this year. I would rather go for some more young blood and try and find a breakout than go for Malkin this year.
That's a good pick.
What's one that you dislike?
So I was looking at the Florida Panthers defense, and after Ekblad, it looks pretty rough. I mean, they just traded a lot to get Tkachuk, right? They traded away Uyghur.
Uyghur's gone, yeah.
That's a big hole. I don't like Bobrovsky where he's getting taken. He's old, and now he's playing on a worse team. They're not the same juggernaut team they were last year. He's getting taken as like the third or fourth goalie off the board at the pick 60. I think that's a little hefty.
Spencer Knight's in the waiting.
Spencer Knight in the waiting. Bobrovsky's old. Yeah, I don't like that ADP right there. So Bobrovsky's my first pick.
Nice. Great pick, Matt. Great pick. Second player I dislike is Max Pacioretty, recovering from the Achilles tendon rupture. Which,
self-explanatory.
I've also suffered. It's he's going to a new team, and we don't know how he's going to utilize them. They have already set stars there, and they're going to be calling some more plays around Aho and these other players there. Dougie Hamilton's going to put up his points. Max Pacioretty, you don't know if they're just going to have him in more of a complimentary role.
Dougie Hamilton plays for New Jersey now.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, Doug Hamilton's gone, but. Yeah. The way that team's structured is more around their stars. Mm-hmm. Who's their starting defenseman then? Because I remember that happened last year.
Is it D'Angelo? I wouldn't even know, man.
No. Let's see here. Caroline.
I haven't looked
at I remember when Dougie left.
Mm-hmm.
Carolina Hurricanes starting defenseman. Actually, on that note, guys, Carolina Hurricanes starting defenseman is probably someone you're going to want to buy. Because...
yeah, whoever quarterbacks that power play is going to be pretty lethal.
This is a good way to kind of go about Brent Burns.
Oh, yeah, they just acquired Brent Burns.
Yeah. But, Chevenikov, that's the guy who's going to be probably getting the second amount of points there. So, yeah, I just don't know where Pacioretty, if he's going to get as much points as people are drafting him. He's being drafted quite high. Mm-hmm. All right. And how about you? You got a second one?
Yeah. This one might get some flack, but I think Nazem Kadri's not going to return his value at his ADP. I usually don't trust guys coming to a new team on fresh contracts, coming off career years, and then they're getting drafted super high for any sport. I usually try and stay away from that. I still think he's going to have a good year because he plays on a stacked Calgary team, and he's probably going to play on the second line. Who he plays with is whatever, but he's not playing with McKinnon, Makar, Landeskog anymore. He's playing with a little bit of a downgrade, not much. Tkachuk and Huberdeau and stuff. I just think that where his ADP is kind of fluctuated because of his numbers from last year, right? And he's going to a new team, new contract. He's got a lot of pressure on him to perform. That's going to be a guy I do not like at his ADP.
I agree with you. I think you mix big contract, career year on superstar lineup team together, and in any sport, that's just kind of a recipe for disaster. It screams regression to me, and if he's being drafted anywhere near where he's expected, where he's being drafted close to where Uyghur, Chabot, above Phyllis Forsberg, 7th round, it's not too bad actually, but there's definitely there's Nylander being taken after him, Scheifele. He might not make the same returns that you're kind of expecting out of him.
Yeah,
I agree with you, man. I think that's a great pick. The last one for me is going to be someone that I have a personal vendetta with. One of my good friends, Mo Man, who him and I always have fun times chirping back and forth about these players. It's going to be Jordan Bennington. I didn't like what I saw out of Jordan Bennington last year, and the St. Louis Blues are a contending team, and this guy just has excuses being made up for him after excuses being made up for him. And Ville Husso won his job. Now Ville Husso's out in Detroit. Bennington, this is kind of like, if he goes halfway through the year letting up 5-6 goals like he was last year, then they're going to start looking at alternatives around the league to replace him as a starting goalie, because St. Louis Blues is not a team that's going to be in a position to start over.
No, they're
in that
win
really
now.
Strong West Division.
Yeah.
So they're going to be looking for a win now solution. So they're going to be poking around, and if they find out that goalie's their weak spot after losing a really good 14-win goalie in Ville Husso with the highest save percentage, they're going to be filling that hole sooner than later. I don't think they're going to wait on Bennington to figure his shit out like they did last year with him.
That's a great pick. Options. I had Bennington.
So, that's great with Matt and I, too.
Yeah.
So that's my final one for hockey, guys. And I'm excited for hockey season to get going. I'm going to try and figure out a way to get a draft going by the end of the week. It's going to be tough. Tough run, though. We might have to join a public league and make it our own.
It's going to be super competitive, though, as it always is. Usually $100 buy-ins. So we're kind of on the cusp of big ballers playing with the most competitive people. I mean, there's $1,000 leagues, but eventually we might get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Little B-ball action. So
I'd like done. So that's going to get a cut right there in terms of hockey. Now we're going to move on to basketball.
Yep.
Basketball season, guys. I'm super excited. Like I mentioned, we're not the most versed in basketball just yet, but we are definitely getting there. And I did actually win one of my basketball leagues last year, so I don't think I'm too shabby. Mm-hmm. So some players that I love, and this is kind of in relation to their ADP, but it's also in relation to just players that I like. I really like, I'm just going to bang off my four, and Matt, you can kind of close it out if you want. I like Scotty Barnes for the Toronto Raptors. Yep. I think he's due for a big year. I think that Toronto Raptors might get rid of OG Anunoby and someone else. I think they were in the market for Kevin Durant for a little bit.
There's a reason why they wouldn't give up Barnes in that package.
They don't want to give up Barnes because I think they know
potential.
Barnes is
that's a great
potential
pick.
There. He's going in around second, third round, guys. I still think that's pretty good value for him.
Yeah.
Actually, Matt, you go ahead and pick one of your guys if you want.
Guys that I like?
Yeah.
I'm a huge Canadian fan favorite of Andrew Wiggins, man. I really got into basketball last year in the playoffs, so I was betting a lot, and I was watching a lot of Golden State games and betting a lot on Andrew Wiggins. The guy had a monster playoff. I think probably one of the biggest reasons that they won the championship 100%. Was that he came out of nowhere. He's completely changed his game style from when he first came in the league to like going from like a pure scorer to now he's just a pure all-around like defensive juggernaut. Yeah. And he is a core piece of that team, and I like him where he's getting taken. He would fill that position perfectly. You can get him at small forward and point forward, like.
Yeah, that's a great pick, Matt. I love that one. Here's another one that I like, guys. I am really, really big on a rebound year from Zion Williamson. This is a guy with all the talent in the world. Probably a guy that, if healthy, would be in the top 12 picks over Karl Anthony Towns, over guys like even LeBron James in his final years.
Now, I'm going to counter that. That was going to be one of my picks of guys that I don't like at their ADP is Zion.
There we go. See, sometimes you just disagree.
I think that Zion he's just like a Ben Simmons. He's way overhyped for doing next to nothing. The guy has no knees anymore. The guy is Lamar Odom or not? Yeah, he's Lamar Odom, Batum. He's all those guys that as soon as all their knees have blown out, it's just a matter of time, man. Like, the guy sucks because he has so much potential coming into the league.
You're not wrong.
But you see, unless he's changed the way that he dunks and stuff like that, man, when that guy lands on his legs, you feel it, man. You just watching it, he comes down hard on those big legs, and you can see the pressure on his knees.
Yeah.
No wonder they're bursting, man. Like,
I
for real.
know.
Like,
you know, it's funny because I'm reading an expert note on Zion, and it says Zion Williamson is unlikely to finish 47 overall. He'll either be a top 20 or 175.
That's a
and
huge gamble.
It all depends on health.
That's a huge gamble.
Yeah, I like his gamble. Gambling man when it comes to him.
Yeah.
So that's someone you dislike. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Here's someone that I really like as well. Jalen Smith Jr. for Houston. I like what I'm seeing out of him in the preseason. He was obviously a really good kind of rookie player, and I think he's going to do really well in Houston. I think he's going to get some points. Jabari Smith Jr. Kind of mixed up two players there with Jalen. I was kind of reading on Jalen. Jabari Smith Jr., I think, this is a rookie that might pop off this year. So I like him, and I like him where he's going ahead as ADP as well. He is going, not to be confused with Jalen Hughes. Wow, he's going all the way down at 114th pick, guys. So
wow,
that's pretty good. He's going where Miles Bridges, who's I think he's in jail, is going. So
Miles Bridges got
he's
traded.
He's going after John Wall, guys.
Yeah.
I'm really liking Jabari Smith Jr. Obviously with rookies comes turnovers, so just be on note of that.
Yep.
Matt, do you have another one that you like?
I can't believe I'm saying this, but the Knicks are finally trending up after about a decade of mediocrity. They finally are developing a good team, and I liked what I was seeing last year, the highlights and stuff I was seeing out of R.J. Barrett. I think he's a true cornerstone franchise player, and his ADP at small forward, man, I think that's a great spot for him.
That's a nice pick, man, and he was always a highly touted guy.
Yeah.
And he's going, actually. Where is he going?
He's going at the 92, so just inside the top 100. He's going...
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really good, guys.
I feel like that's a steal.
Yeah. He's behind Malcolm Brogdon, who's going to be backup from Smart at Celtics.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, this is a player that I'm kind of going to go down with the ADP. I think that actually I'm going to give another one that I actually like. I am really enjoying Kawhi Leonard. That's another injury player who's coming back. First rounder if you knew how much he was going to play. But he's progressed well. He's been off for a while, and I think that's an injury player that I like. I have a lot of injury players, guys, because I feel like they're being greatly impacted. And Kawhi Leonard's being drafted right around the 27th pick. This is a guy that probably can easily crack top 15 this year on a very strong Clippers team. All right, and Matt, you got some players that you dislike?
I have a list of players I dislike.
Yeah, let's start with one.
I don't like Ben Simmons as a player. I don't like him as a guy. I just think that he's kind of shady,
so
greasy in the sense that he just greases his team for all this money, and then says he's gonna play, never plays, and then he gets traded and he says, I'm 100% gonna be back for game 1 of the playoffs. Then he's out, doesn't come back, so he lies, or I don't know what's going on there. But I've never liked Ben Simmons. I think he's always been overhyped, and where he's getting taken right now, you're taking a huge risk. He's saying that he's come back and 100% and that he's gonna carry this team. I don't know about that, man.
Here's my dilemma. Ben Simmons is drafted right in between two players that I absolutely love. Player-wise, Jamal Murray and Andrew Wiggins. Jamal Murray at 68.5, Andrew Wiggins at 69.5. Ben Simmons smack dab at 69. Do I think he's a bargain at that ADP? Yes. Do I think he has potential to be a superstar? Yes. Do I like him as a player? No. Will it pain me to have him on my team? Yes. Will I name my team after him? Yes. So that's kind of what's going on with me and Ben Simmons. Do I want him at that ADP? Absolutely. Would I rather have some players that I like so I feel good about myself? Yes.
Yeah, I mean, like Zappy and I are not always going to be in agreement about players, but I love the feedback.
Yeah, we disagree about that one. You
Yeah.
disagree about Zion. I disagree about Ben Simmons. I think he's going to outplay his ADP.
I love that.
Here's a guy that I actually dislike at his ADP. He's being drafted super high. He got traded to a really, really good team. You guys might know who I'm talking about. His name is DeJounte Murray. This is a guy that's come flat out and said, I don't care about your fantasy teams. I don't care about your prop tickets. I'm going to rest because I want to rest. I'm going to do whatever I want to do. Well, you are not the best point guard on the Atlanta Hawks. That belongs to Trae Young, my friend. Mm-hmm. That guy is a baller. You're going to see an uptick in some stats from Trae Young, and DeJounte Murray might be pretty good. The only thing that I dislike about DeJounte Murray is that he's being drafted ahead of DeMar DeRozan. He's being drafted ahead of Siakam, and these are guys, he's being drafted ahead of Anthony Edwards. These are superstars for their teams. This guy is not the number one on his team. He's being drafted like he is the number one on his team.
That's a lot of hype. That's a great insight there. I didn't even know that.
He's being drafted not too far after Devin Booker, guys. So I rather have all of those players that I named over, I don't care about your fantasy team, DeJounte Murray.
Damn.
Another player that I dislike, and this one pains my heart because I think it's completely injury related. For where he's going, unfortunately, Freddie VanVleet is just going so high.
Yeah,
he's at rank 30. He's at pick 35 still, and he's so underrated. But he's getting his minutes monitored, and they're getting monitored early on. They've come out and said so. He's just going. He's going near Bradley Beal, a pick after Bradley Beal, and he's going a pick before Jaylen Brown. Also Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I'm really rooting for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander on a side note because he's a Canadian boy, but I'm really sad that Freddie is being drafted that high because I'd love to get him in the third or fourth round actually, but third round I cannot justify getting him in the top 3 rounds. I would have to say 4th or 5th round for me, and I'll jump on the Freddie train. But not with those sorts of injuries, not with those sort of monitored minutes. I watched a lot of Raptors games last year, and he was always tucking at something, always injured, very frustrated, great player. My girlfriend's all-time favorite player, by the way. She just want to do a shout-out to her. She did call Freddie VanVleet's breakout before he broke out in the NBA.
Nice.
So, Matt, what's a player that you dislike at their ADP?
My last player is, and this one pains me too because he was part of our big championship year, and that's Kyle Lowry at the 101.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the players around. So he's just on the cusp of the top 100. I'm looking at the players around him. You know, you got your Lonzo Balls, your Brogdons for point guard.
Well, Lonzo Ball's out for the year, but yeah.
Yeah, Oh, is he? Okay, Melton and stuff. See, guys, I don't claim to be an expert in basketball.
No, but
I'm still learning.
I can agree with you where this is going, though. I'm looking at the players, too.
I just, when I was watching Miami games last year in the playoffs and betting on them, Kyle Lowry played only like a couple of minutes each game. He looked rough. He maybe had one game in the playoffs that was like decent, but he's starting to show his age. And at 101, I'm not taking that risk.
I agree with you, man. I'd rather go for a Jabari Smith Jr. Mm-hmm. Seriously, I think that's a way better pick. Note on Kyle Lowry, I'm just reading here off the internet. Lowry isn't the Lowry of the past. He's mainly just a punt point guard play. Why would you punt point guard play on an old player who's underperforming, that's going lower and lower? Why wouldn't you punt point guard play on a Jabari Smith Jr., who's 14 picks later? And then just kind of lock up... Kyle Lowry's going 8 picks after RJ Barrett. Great pick, Matt. Yeah. Great pick. Last one, I'm doing... I'm doing so many crazy things here, guys. I think that Gobert might not have as great a season as he had on Utah, because they're going to be doing some sort of, I think it's the fours like spread, where they have to play Towns and Gobert in the same position, kind of spread the ball out around them and have them both rebounding. So you're probably going to see his rebounds cut down a little bit.
Those rebounds were insane last year.
Those rebounds were ridiculous. We're talking 14.5 on a prop for rebounds. Man. And this guy would hit it over all the time.
Yeah.
Matt and I won a couple tickets on Gobi last year, so I love him as that sort of player. But I think Cat Towns is going to cut into a lot of his production. Cat Towns does the same things as Gobert, but he also scores a little bit more and does a little bit kind of crazier stuff. So that's a guy that I'm kind of fading. And just because his ADP is so ridiculously high, his ADP is sitting above Kawhi Leonard.
That's a great pick, man. I like that.
So that's kind of what it is here for me. I also just want to do a quick last guy of a gut check. I've been reading a lot on Miles Turner in Indianapolis, Indiana, being potentially the go-to guy, that they might actually start making him more and more the center of that offense. That's a pick you want to go out and reach for, guys. So
nice.
That's it for me for basketball, guys. We have a little bit more time for basketball, so we'll probably be able to organize the basketball mock draft and all that stuff a little bit sooner, but we'll be giving
great
props.
Though. Yeah, talking a little hockey, a little basketball, man. It was fun.
Yeah,
awesome. Fun, man. Learned some new things today about basketball.
Yeah, I learned something about hockey, and that's what we do.
Yeah, man, I'm pumped.
Cool.
Sports Scholar.
All right, guys, that's it for another episode of Sports Scholars. Just a quick podcast today, and we appreciate you guys dropping by.
Thursday night preview
coming up. We're going to do some props, we're going to do some previews, we're going to do some pick'ems. We're good to go.